My refutation speech on Title IX. A quick refresher. Keeping in mind, Title IX is the landmark federal civil right that prohibits sex discrimination in education. Ultimately, Title IX supports equality of both men and women in the sports arena, and it also addresses the sexual discrimination aspect of it. Equality of both men and women in the sports arena is one of the main focuses that I found very interesting, in that when you're dealing with colleges all across the United States and the country, when you look at the Olympics, you're looking at all of the athletes, many men, many women, and they all have to work together, function together, train together. It's a lot at stake. So there are arguments against this, and the arguments that I'm going to state are with the American Sports Council and the U.S. Department of Education. Title IX, it does not treat sexual violence as seriously as the justice system does, and ultimately it leaves the investigation process and punishment to the school's discretion. And we know all schools operate and function differently. All schools, universities, colleges across the country all function differently. And you have a lot of problems with the fact that you have the popularity of the male athlete, that they want to be that person of interest to continue to support the efforts of the sports arena on that university campus, and that person may be a key player. Therefore, if that person is to get in trouble or to cause some type of problem in violating the Title IX law, they can put it off as just a slap on the hand or a suspension, a 1-year suspension, and then he's allowed to come back and function as normal or as if nothing ever happened. And then, however, you're dealing with the victim that has to suffer that demise in that situation. So that's one argument. It's not treated the same as the justice system would treat it. Title IX is present on all campuses and universities. However, there's some leniency there. Additionally, U.S. Department of Education goes on and states that it wasn't conceived as an intrusive quota system. It wasn't meant to pit men and women against each other. Yet that's the sad reality of law and practice today dealing with Title IX. And with Title IX, schools must be proactive in ensuring that your campus is free of sex discrimination. And currently, that is the law in place, but that's not really what's taking place across campuses. As you know, when a law is set in place, there are many ways around the law, and many of these campuses are they're strutting their freedom of speech and their right to do other than what the law states that they need to do. Schools must be or have an established procedure for handling complaints of sexual discrimination, harassment, or violence. And according to the U.S. Department of Education, it clearly understands that in many of the sexual harassment cases with universities, that law is not being followed to the measure of the law in which it should be. So there are still checks and balances that need to take place with Title IX. That is my refutation speech and my understanding with that issue. Thank you very much.